Hey, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. Alex Collins and I are both journeyman actors who've been at this for over 2 decades. We have 120 plus combined IMDb credits, and we've sat down to talk before. We did it last year, and you can find those interview chunks right here on the channel. But we had more to talk about.
I think this is a perfect segue and transition sort of away from the pillar of success. But it's related in the sense of noise that you talk about and clearing out the noise and decluttering. And this is the idea about every actor needs to know your no, right? What are you not okay with in the industry? And for, it's more directly relevant for women and female presenting artists in terms of nudity and content, right? No one's asking you or me to do an HBO show with our top off, But that's something real, tangible that a lot of performers are going to have to deal with, right? So there's a no line there. Are you okay with it, knowing it's HBO and there's an intimacy coordinator and it's going to be handled in a closed set with a degree of care? Are you also okay with that on a non-union, low budget, $100,000 budget, let's say, horror film, which specializes in sort of titillation, right? Who's advocating for you in that? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but who's got your back?
Yeah.
So knowing your no there. Maybe on the commercial side, you're vegan and your agent keeps sending you Burger King auditions. Well, it's probably a problem because if you book it, you're probably going to have to eat that new sandwich that they're debuting in this spot. So maybe it's you don't want to do political campaigning things, right? So I think knowing your no is really, really important. I think a larger, if we go back to the sort of 30,000 foot view, non-union commercials have really increased in the last decade in perpetuity. AIs, all sorts of stuff. Are there things that you've dealt with where your line has been drawn and has it moved or evolved over time? Maybe it's, you're not going to work for less than X dollars now per day. And then how do you broach that with your team?
It's a good question. I think, joking aside, this face is not going to be asked to, like you said, there are some like comedic roles, and that's like for nudity is where I'm going with this. Like Righteous Gemstones had a role in this last season that came across my inbox, and I stared at it. Luckily, I stared at it long enough that I got a follow-up email saying they've already cast it. So I didn't have to even...
I declined that same audition. Yeah.
Yeah, I just stared at it with an existential crisis because I'm like, this is funny.
It's good.
It's so funny. But then I know enough about the business that if I have to start asking so many clarifying questions, I'm probably not right for it. Because even if I'm ultimately ready to do something like that, if it doesn't cross my personal moral boundary or anything like that, if I have to have like 17 writers, or clarifying clauses in my contract of what angle and how long and this and that, then
how long, Matt?
How long exactly? Well, that was like it was in the character name. We won't say it, but it was in the character name.
Yes.
And so there's I've realized like, oh, okay, if I have to think that hard about it, and another double entendre there, then there's probably an actor out there that is jumping at the chance that their line is different than mine. And so then I easily let stuff like that go, even if it again ultimately doesn't cross, but it's just like it crosses it if I don't get all the safety checks and the personal assurances. Oh, and by the way, do you like to laugh, but you haven't checked out the Brooke and Matt show yet? Well, what are you waiting for? You can check it out right here or in the show notes below. We premiered our first episode on July 1st, 2025, right here on YouTube, just a different channel. And so you can go support us by clicking over to that link after you watch this interview. So I am coming from a standpoint of, I don't want to say privilege as much as just that I'm not going to be asked a lot of this stuff. But what I will say, sort of tied to that thing I just shared, what has changed for me is I can discern by looking at a script if it's going to have like physicality of any kind. Like I can discern what that day is going to be like on set, generally speaking, because we both know that nothing will happen ideally. Like the circumstances will never be ideal. And so even the sort of neutral case scenario, if I sense that like I definitely need more money, like even if they don't want to call this a stunt, well, they better be willing to pay anyways because this is going to be a long day, fill in the blank, in the rain, which there should be some hazard pay for that anyways. But let's say something that's less obvious, and I've counseled my team on that before where I'm like, hey, I know how this day goes. This happens, then this happens, and this, and it's like nothing wrong with that. But just know that for me to audition for this, I'm going to be asking for more money, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that. And then so sometimes that discussion with the team, which is very open, my agents at Houghton are very open to my personal input, my personal boundaries. And so then it becomes, a mutual decision, but ultimately leaning towards whatever I'm feeling. And so I do turn stuff down but it's usually more from that standpoint of like, oh, I know how this day goes. I've been in this environment. I understand from a filmmaking standpoint how long it's going to take to get that shot and how arduous it's going to be on me as a performer. And sometimes I'm excited by that. Like, yeah, this challenge is great. But if it's something else where I'm like, oof, that's going to push my buttons and squeeze me in ways that if I'm not protected, if I don't have a respectful director or respectful, and we're not even talking about intimacy, so there wouldn't even need to be an intimacy coordinator on set. It's other stuff. So that I've spoken up for myself more. I've declined more stuff, but it's usually as someone who's not going to be asked to. Like none of the co-stars and guest stars that come across my desk are even having to get romantic with characters. Right. I just don't have that classic presence that you want to see me in the romantic subplot, unless it's for comedy, right? Well, and you've been punched several times, right? Like, so there are certain things that we find ourselves on screen, not in life necessarily. But so like within my brand or the things that I get called in for the most, yeah, it's rarely the big hot button issues. And it's more of like, oh, my experience has taught me to watch out for myself here, and I will stand up or I will decline.
I think ultimately the takeaway is no matter where you are in your journey is be an advocate for yourself, especially if you're unrepresented and you're working on, if you're unrepped, you're probably on a lower budget, non-union thing. Be an advocate for yourself. Give yourself a conversational strategy that you need to have with the director or other cast members so you can be in unison on something. If it feels a little icky to you, it might be icky to someone else, whether that's intimacy or stunts or rain or running through the forests or like whatever it is, right? And then farther along, communicate proactively with your reps so they know where your lines are. No agent is going to be mad at you for not wanting to do the Burger King commercial if you're a vegan. They're going to be frustrated if you've never told them you're vegan. Yeah. And you just keep declining these commercial opportunities for no reason. Like, this is a big one. Why if it's nudity, that's fine. Nobody cares. The more challenging thing that puts the strain on the relationship between the actor and their team is for the actor to not want to rock the boat and just go along, get a callback, go along, book the job, show up, and then go, hi, I don't do nudity. There was a lot of opportunity to talk about this.
Yeah.
Or I don't eat meat. This is a meat commercial. Like, what are you doing here?
Arby's, we have the meats.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think as long as you're proactively communicating what your boundaries are with your team, they're okay with that.
Yeah.
And they're okay with them evolving over time in something like intimacy and nudity. Maybe you become a parent and you no longer want to do that. Or maybe you reach a certain age and you're like, hey, I'm just not comfortable doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine too. But again, be proactive with your team. I think that's what it comes down to.
Especially if the lack of communication is fear-based. I mean, this industry is just a feeding ground for that emotion of fear. And it dictates so many actors. We had an instance years ago where an actor was in for an audition, taping an audition, and I think Brooke was taping them. She's doing the switching, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have a camera pointed at her, but the actor was intimating to Brooke of like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaked out about this because I have to, I think it was sing or something in the commercial or in the spot, whatever it was. It might have been TV. And Brooke was like, why didn't you turn it down? or why are you auditioning for it? And
Yeah.
the actor was, because my agent sent it to me. And it's just like, you could have declined.
Yeah.
And most agents have gotten better about like, feel free to decline.
Yeah.
I love, being a taping service, we often see when the LA actors are in town, they'll just forward us their email from their agents.
Yeah.
And it's like, it usually says at the top, per your, what do they usually say? Per your interest or pending your interest.
Yeah.
So like they present it as if there's going to be a possible no. Like, hey, take a look at this, see if you like it. If you want to, here are the taping instructions. But like the smaller market actors, I think, and that's a whole kit and caboodle right there of discussing that agent actor relationship in these markets where the agent can either knowingly or unknowingly place that pressure on the actor to say yes to everything. I think some agents get caught up actually doing that, but a lot of the agents, it's just the status difference.
Yeah.
The actor perceives that I got the email, so I have to do it.
I'm obligated.
Yeah.
This is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about something controversial.
Ooh.
Right.
That's it? It's over? Actually, it's not. We recorded over 2 hours of this interview, and so we'll be dropping new chunks over the next couple weeks. So be sure to stay tuned for that. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.